What's that, Skip? Shauno's talking about Supercoach again. Let's go. G'day everybody, it's Shauno again and I'm back with some more Supercoach content. Today we're going to be doing our round 9 trades and captains video. And yeah, we're going to go through and look at mine first, and then we'll go through the community and let me know what I think the best trade-ins and trade-outs are, and also the captain choices for this week. Okay, before we get on with it, don't forget to sub. Yes, please subscribe to my channel. That will help me out a lot, and I really appreciate that, and any support and all of the support I've been getting so far this season. Also, please like the video. So go and do those two things now, sub and like. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know who you are trading in and who your captain choices are going to be this week. And one last thing, don't forget to join my Discord. Pop your team in the post my team here section, and we'll throw it up on the screen, have a bit of a chat about it on Thursday when we do our live videos. Also, a lot of knowledgeable people in the chat there. So if you have some questions, or even if you just want a bit of a Supercoach chat, jump into the chat in my Discord, and that will be awesome. All right, let's get on with it. We're not going to go on too much about my team crew. As usual, we'll go into depth a lot more on Thursday during the live videos, what I'm thinking. But the team injury lists have come out as I'm speaking now, except for a couple of teams. And so I've got a reasonable idea what I might be doing. So here we go. So these are the ones I'm thinking about this week. McCluggage and coming in for Bruin and Grill out. Now, I'm pretty much undecided here about the coming trade. Now, so this is what the team looks like that in the midfield. Now, say we didn't go coming. Say we got our friend, the cheaper rookie, Burton. So now we could potentially, let's just undo everything, make ourselves lives easier. Confirm. So we could go potentially, instead of Bruin and Grill out, we could go Grill and Farrow out, move Marshall back up to defense. Now, I'm thinking that he will be playing that back in the, hopefully in the back line again this week. But in this case, I can even put him on the bench just in case. So, and then we can afford to get McCluggage. Now, I'll explain to you a little bit. We'll go about who I think are the best trade-ins this week. Now, why am I picking luggage this week? And so here we go. Is Burton, is it? And we need a midfielder somehow. You need to go there, and Thomas Burton. So this way, if we do it this way, I have Bruin still on the field, who has shown that he can deliver a good score. Now, my question is coming worth it? Could have put a joke in there, but I think it's time to get a little bit serious. If we have a look at him, last couple of weeks, 80s. Great, that's great. But Taranto has been out of the team. Now, we've also got an injury to Sam Laylor. So he's got an 80 the last couple of weeks. 80-80. Now, for him to make us money, so it's nice to have the cash on the field. The score on the field, which I am interested in. But more importantly, I think to my team is the money. So he's going to have to at least make 180K to make 100,000, or 175K to make 100,000, and to make me mildly happy, even though I would like him to do more than that. So if he goes, say Taranto comes back and he loses some CBAs, is he going to continue to go to 80? My prediction is probably not. There's a few guys in there, which we'll look at in just a second. So let's give him 60s. Let's say he drops down to 60. And so then at his buy, he'll be worth 272k. So literally just 100 if he goes at 60s. Whereas if we go Burton, the other fella, at a 99k rookie, he's got a 40 and a 64. So let's just say he goes at 50s. Can you guys see this? You can't really see it. I'm putting it in here. Going at 50s, projecting, and it says he'll be up to 204,000. So that's 100 grand for him as well. Will he be dropped, Burton? Some people are saying Burton will be dropped before Cumming, but I got a feeling Cumming will lose some CBAs. It's just a matter of how much. If we look at the stats here, so the last 2 weeks, there has been no Tim Taranto. In that time, Cumming came in as a direct swap for him, I would say. The first week he got 36% CBAs, and that's when Sam Laylor was playing. And then Sam Laylor was out and he jumped to 78. So the other players are still in there. There is no Dion Prestia, I believe. He is still injured. If we look at the injury list, he's a long way away, I think. Dylan Prestia calf 3 to 4 weeks. So 3 to 4 weeks you've probably got, which probably works out with your buy structure fairly well. So yeah, so where were we at? We were at the CBAs. So McAuliffe got extra CBAs. Bolter was playing in the ruck. Prestia is out now. So you got these 67% CBAs here, which it looks like that's where he picked them up from. So Prestia was pretty steady. He kind of picked them up from there, and Sam Laylor's out. So he looks like he's got good job security. I just feel that the 80s might be a little bit too much to wish for. Having another on-field scorer, is it better to get the cheaper guy? The only worries I have with Burton is, could he be dropped? And I have the worries for Cummings that he's not going to score 80 every week. If he was locked into his position, and I knew if in 2 weeks in a row he had 74% CBAs, then I'd be all over it. Just the 1 week, and then coming back, someone's going to lose their CBAs, or at least a percentage of them, when Taranto comes back. Now, does that mean Burton goes out and Cumming is shifted more to the wing? I'm not too sure. I know a few Richmond supporters out there saying they really love him down there and everything, and I'm sure they do. That's not my issue. My issue is, can he score the 60 average from now on to get us that money, and is he worth the on-field position? So we go back to my team. Without him, I have go down to Bruin here, which seems quite deep, and I know Bruin can give you me anywhere between 70 and 100. I feel a lot less confident that if I have Cumming in the team, that he can get me between a 70 and 100. I feel like he's got the role at the moment, but at any moment that role could disappear. I still might go there. I still think the fact that he might not get dropped, the fact that Burton might get dropped is enough to scare me enough, I think, to go Bruin as a trade out. And then next week, that leaves me enough money to potentially go a downgrade on a rookie here, and an upgrade of a Jakes or Selwood, or a Bruin if he's still in the team. And if he's not still in the team, Farrow will be in the team. And hopefully that will be enough to go up to Zorko. So that's what I'm thinking with my team. And so let's have a look about you guys, though. There are lots of options. So let's look at the rookies on the bubble. Cash cows. Now, Jed Buslinger, I can see why this seems appealing to some people, but for me, it's a no, just due to uncertainty of role. You got Rory Lobb could come back in a couple of weeks. We've seen, multiple people, like Jakes has gone back and played there a bit and then been moved. So I think the Buslinger one is, I think at his scoring, he could easily drop a 60, even be out of the team in a couple of weeks' time. So just at that inflated price, I'm already umming and ahhing whether I want to pay 170 for Cumming. So I don't think I'll be paying 215 for a Buslinger. He was touted as a pretty good rookie last year. I'm just afraid that his spot in his team is definitely not solid. So all the rookies I get now, I want them to have a fairly solid spot in the team, because they're going to pretty much have to hold us over to the buys. And when they get to the buys, you'd like them to have a little bit of money on their head. So it'll be an easy, like, culling a few rookies and going up to a, up to a primo. Last thing you want is 0 rookies on your bench at this time of year. Unless you've, except for your loophole or captain loophole, you want to pretty much have all your rookies making some type of money, hopefully. Cooper Sharman wouldn't be going there. Samuel Cumming, we've discussed him. Noah Bolter, no thank you very much. Maybe we should have said played less than 3 matches. Tom Burton, as we've discussed it, if he could hold his spot with all the injuries, maybe he keeps his spot for a while. And at 99k, I mean, that's my only... If I knew that he was in the team for the next 4 weeks, I'd probably pick him over Cumming and just take the extra money now and, hope that Cumming drops to get 60s instead of 80s for the rest of the time. And that way, the money I would make of Burton would be the same, but would be less risk, as we've discussed before. At 99k, there's less risk. If he gets a 40 or something, it's not going to hurt him too much. If Cumming comes out and gets a 40, well, that's going to ruin his cash gen quite severely. Other players, I don't think there's too much chat. Well, we had the McKenna gentleman. Can we see him? Yep, Connor McKenna. Brisbane got such a good team. I don't know if I'd be going here, but if you need a forward, I guess that is understandable. And you've also got Arthur Jones, who went up. It's already gone up 1 because he's got DPP. He's only an extra 20 grand over McConnor. He has got an 80 in his system. 80, 58. I think we should be expecting this 58 as more the norm. But you could, as a key forward or as a small forward, he could easily score another 21. Hopefully not that low, but what would we want? Say he gets a 50 for the next couple of weeks, crew. You go up about 40, 50k. So I think it's kind of missed the boat. We really need the money now. Buying these, the only reason you're paying up for a rookie is if you think he can give you on-field scoring as well, like Cumming. Yep, like I said, I think the only problem with me not picking Burton, which I prefer out of my picks, is the fact that I'm afraid that he'll be dropped. And if he wasn't going to be dropped, he would be my number 1. Otherwise, I think my number 1 probably has to be Samuel Cumming. And like I said, Buslinger, I don't like it. It's not time for a sugar hit, for a short money grab, when it's not a reliable position. I can understand if you're going there, but hopefully it gets you up to a primo as well. You're not just going there, because we've seen this not pay off a few times already this season. So it could pay off, but it is a risk. You could have a 0 on your bench and he might drop a really low score and end up only making you 50, 60k, which would hurt a lot. So I think for rookies in, there's not much else to talk about. So I think a lot more people are interested in maybe some primos coming in. Now, there's a few, I think I'll just list them off instead of searching for them. So the first one is the guy I got. It's McCluggage, and I'll explain to you why I'm getting McCluggage. Get myself ready. So his time on field rank, there's another one some people might be interested in. Hugh McCluggage. So if we're looking at him, so last week he had the most time on ground. He went from round 5, he had 56%. Round 6 and 7, he had around 65, 66%. Then last week, he goes up to 74%. Now, I've heard a few Brisbane people saying that he's kind of playing a little bit of a wing role for Berry, and Berry is due back not this week, but the week after. So, in my mind, that means maybe he's primed to get back in that midfield full time. Now, I'm looking at his kicks to handball, it's 2.13, so he doesn't need a lot of possessions to get an 80-90 score. And I actually kind of expect if Barry's out of the team and he still plays that same role, he'll probably get an 80 or 90 score this week. But the week after is when I think he may go big. Barry comes back, he moves to the midfield. Bob's your uncle. You've got yourself a primo at a very cheap price. Now, one of the reasons I'm going there this week is because his break even. We're looking at this one. Break even is at 98. I think he can get very close to that. So he's not going to go up a lot. He's not going to go down a lot. So you don't have to panic. But also for me, that allows me to do what I want to do next week. I don't want to I've still got one boost left, but I don't particularly want to use it. So I'm hoping that I can go down one next week and up to whoever I can afford, which is probably not going to be much, but it's probably going to be the man, Dane Zorko, the old man who's slightly injury prone, but I have to, beggars can't be choosers, and I need to get the cheapo guys at the moment. So I think that's one people are looking at. The other one is Finn Callahan. He's still got a break even of 124. He does play Essendon, and I think after that it might even be, it's West Coast, so it could be a good week to pick him up. We do know he's susceptible to the tag. Essendon, occasionally they tried to use McGrath as a tag, so occasionally they try it. Whether they try it this week or not is yet to be seen. And Eagles don't seem to want to try and tag at all. So I could see a couple of good weeks coming up. He's got a break, like we said, break even of 128. So you can probably afford to have a look at him. But if you're buying him in, these two matchups look like good matchups. So this week seems a pretty good week to buy him in. And if he does go like a 110 to a 130, his score is pretty much not going to move. So that's what I'm thinking, that potentially if he's one that I want, not that I think I can afford him, but I might be able to get him next week. Now, I'd probably say if you've got some money in the bank, I'd do it the other way around. If you're thinking of Finn and McCluggage, get Finn this week, get McCluggage next week, would be the plan. I don't have the money to really do that, I don't think. We'll look into it, but yeah, I don't think I've got the money to afford that. If I don't get Finn this week and he gets a 90 and he comes down another 15 or 20K-ish, then I might be able to get him next week. So that's just my thinking. But if money was an issue, I'd probably go Finn and then McCluggage if I wanted a midfielder. And since we're talking about midfielders, we usually do it this way, don't we? Where we have a chat, we bring them up. Merritt, 596, probably gone now. LDU, still break even at 150, so you can probably get him for right about what they started the season. Clayton Oliver, 114 with a 550 break even. So again, he's showing that he's pretty consistent every week. Jai Bolton's up and down every second week. I still wouldn't be picking him. No matter how many of these big scores he bangs out, he would have to do it every week for the rest of the season. I guess Nas at 558 with a break even of 87 is a reasonable pick if you're willing to go to Nas. Justin McCanary, 99, 470. He's probably going to not get away from you if you wait on him. Took got a nice 104, even with a lack of CBAs this week. So still nice. I brought in Jason Francis because I thought he would be better, and he outscored him by 20 points. So you get that, I guess. Caleb Sarong, he's at 470 now, but he's just not delivering. I think this is one we're just going to let go, even though no matter how cheap he gets, he'd have to be like 300K, I think, to even be considering him. And you'd have to be desperate for no midfielders. Ed Richards hit back a little bit, 530K now if you're thinking about going there. I don't think there's too many other midfielders people will be looking at. Josh Dunkley we saw down there. How did Dunks go this week? A 70. So again, he got 100 last week, but with a 70 this week, 98 break even. It just doesn't look like the pick that we hope he's going to be. All right, let's have a look. Let's look at defenders. If you're looking for a defender this week, Sinclair is going down, but I think he'll still be good, but his role has changed a little bit, and there's a lot of hands back there now. Even NASA's back there a little bit. You got Wilkie back there, so just he's come down enough to pick him up if you want, but I don't think it's got 138 break even, so you don't do it this week. You wait, and you could get him close to 500k. Archie Roberts, break even 108, I think that said, at 780. I think now it's close enough to when is the red man? When is the red man back? I think it's now. You've missed it. Don't get him now. Mason Redman, the Bombers could welcome back Mason Redman. So if you still like Archie Roberts, you wait and you look at him this week and you see what the team looks like with Redman. Now, I'm thinking Luke Parker went down, dropped to 66. So if he's cheaper in a few weeks' time at 157, maybe he's somebody that you could consider. Here's the man that I think I would really like that I don't have. That's almost now a must-have that Lockie Ash has moved up a bit further up the field at the moment. While that persists, Lockie Whitfield is going to be one of our highest scorers in the back line. He's got those kickouts as a monopoly to himself. So, definitely worthwhile looking at. We spoke about Nas. Lockie Ash, another down game. They are playing him a little bit more midfield. If there's any sign that he gets moved back to the back line and maybe somebody else takes up that midfield time, at this price, he could be a really good bargain. Wayne Malera, he's been good. I don't know if I'll be buying into him, but he has been good. Dacos has been bad, I know, because I've got him. I wouldn't go there. Josh Worrell, I think, way too close to. They've got other defenders coming back there. It's uncertain in his role. Don't go there. I bought in Clark a couple of weeks ago, and this is his highest score so far of 85. So to say I'm disappointed is probably an understatement, especially because I think he got a 140 the week before I brought him in. Dan Houston got a 135. I'm an owner, and I was very happy with him this week, but I don't know if I'd be jumping on. He has shown he will get you 60s and 70s and 80s some weeks. He's not going to do this every week, but he is capable of doing it, which is enough for me to keep him in my team. Nick Blakey, 500k seems reasonable if you want him. Suits your buy structure seems cheap. Again, is he going to do any better than a Houston type? Has he been more consistent? Let's have a look. 71, 127, 78, 100, 91. So it looks like he is a similar mold where he can drop you a low score as well, which seems the kind of the theme of this year, right? Whether it's a midfielder or a defender, the only ones that are not dropping low scores are those big ruck boys. So Bailey Dale, if you went there last week, you're happy, made like 35k in a week and scored you 140. I, again, owned him last year, and he will also be up and down a little bit, but I think if for a bit of a pod, only owned by 2% of teams, probably prefer if you got him at the cheeky price of like 460 or whatever he was last week, but I like him better than some of the others. Like, I like Bailey Dale more than I probably like Blakey, just because I know he's a bit of a ball pig in the back line. Don't think there's too many others. Some people might be looking at Luke Ryan. He has been on fire. This would be a cheeky, crazy pick, but he's gone 126, 116, 94, and 119 in his last 4 matches. So, I think it's cheeky, but right now I kind of think you probably want to be sticking to the big dogs. If you're like me, you've probably got, 3 big guys in your defense. You probably want Holmes there. So if we have a quick look over at my team, you've got 3 or 4 big dogs here. You probably want to save a spot for Holmes if you can afford him at some stage, which I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to afford him. And then you've got one more spot for, this could be a Nas. For me, my money situation and trade situation means it could be a Zorko. and then just pray that he doesn't get injured or rested too often. Yeah, so, but it depends. If I could, in a dreamland, this would be one of these guys would be Whitfield, and the other one would be potentially, um, yeah, probably Nas. I think is still what showed that he can go huge when he is not tagged. So I think he's still in the talking. But then there are quite a few other people in the talking now. You could potentially pick up Ash for less, or like we spoke about Zorko, or I'm sure there's some others there as well that I'm not thinking of, the Bailey Dales of the world. And then if Archie Roberts continues on with his blinder, maybe Archie Roberts is going to be the one. All right, so now rucks. We're going to do rucks really quickly, so it should be easy. If you're going to get a ruck, you're getting Grundy, Jackson, or Sherry. Can't get gone until you've seen what's happening with this Max Heath business. If Max Heath is dropped, then and you probably wait a week. What's his at 169 break even? Yeah. If Max Heath is dropped, maybe you can pick up Gorn in a week or two for less than 600,000. But at the moment, with the uncertainty there, I think you only pick one of the three: Grundy, Jackson, or Sherry. All right. So who is the last ones are the forwards now. I think there's a few to talk about. Obviously, Sheasel, Pickett. If you don't have Pickett, just go there. I've had him for a while. Bolton, I'm still not going Bolton. I know he can score big, but it depends on goals. It depends on a lot of things, and he can really go low. He has a very low floor. It's like his floor is so low, it's a basement. So I just don't want that inconsistency, but he has smashed it out of the park quite a few times now. Let's just have a I'm not going there. We went there last year, but look, in his last, he's gone 134 and 142, but the 2 weeks before that were 66 and 69 and 85. 130, 142 the 2 weeks before that. So I have no doubt that the next 2 to 3 weeks he could basically not score even 80 points, and you'd be pretty disappointed. I've already brought in enough players where I'm disappointed. Just McInerney, still getting CBAs. I think he's still a valid pick. Tuke Miller, I think he is still also a valid pick now, pretty much right at his break even. Don't like the fact he lost his CBAs, but don't forget Rao didn't play as well last week, which might have helped him get a little bit tougher, a little bit better at the score. Last week I went Jason Horne-Francis because I expected him to have more of a midfield role. I still expect him to have a little bit of a midfield role. Just hopefully he can do better than the 75. This score that he got us last week. He's got a break even of 113, so he's not going anywhere. You can wait to have a look at him. Connor McDonald, I still don't like. Haven't liked him from the beginning, and I still don't like. Jack Ross, is he the one that got injured? Up and down, but seems reasonable. Zach Bailey, I really like Zach Bailey. He is a little bit up and down. He has got a high ceiling. I don't think his floor is as low as the old Bolton above him then, and he hasn't got as many of those lower scores. So in the last, since round 3 to round 8, he's only got one score less than 100, which is 52. So if you're looking for a forward, I think I'd be really considering him. I still think Horne-Francis is a good pick. I still think Tuke Miller will be a good pick, and I still think Justin McInerney will be a good pick, and I'd be staying away from the others myself. There's nobody else there that gives me any interest at all. All right, so that's the trades. If you were thinking about someone else, let me know down in chat. I'll just give my warnings now. As for your rookies, choose wisely between Cumming and Burton, and also Buslinger. Really be prepared to lose, not to make as much money as you hope for there, and potentially not have an on-field scorer like you might hope for if you're getting him in. Okay, let's do the captains and vice captains. Now, we do this for the whole entire community. I am not doing this. I know Jackson plays Hawthorn, and I ignored the matchup with Dacos playing Hawthorn last week, and he only got 103. But I think even with the dual ruck, Well, Freo have a dual ruck as well. You know, they'll obviously play Mason Cox. I think Jackson can still do well in this game. At home, I think he's worth a swing. Now, if Max Heath is dropped for any reason, Gawn will be my captain against the Eagles, where I assume him to get 1,000,000 points. If Max Heath is in the team, we'll probably have a swing at either Bont or Butters. If Bont, there were rumours that Bont might be rested this week. He has been playing injured the last couple of weeks, but since he's been injured, he's got a 135-ish and a 118. So he's still outperforming the non-injured players in my team. Also, I think Petrarca if Rao is not in the team. If Rao's not in the team, I think Petrarca is a pretty good pick. If Rao's in the team, I think it limits his ceiling. And but I still think he's a viable option. I just much prefer it if Rao is not in the team. And if we have a look at the CBAs for those guys. So Christian Petrarca, hasn't been there for the last few weeks. So yeah, we haven't seen Petrarca and Rao playing the same team yet. Oh, yes, we did. We saw it here. We saw it here and here. So his CBA's pretty much the same. So that tells me that you probably can pick him as your captain. You probably can versus St Kilda. Does Windhager tag him? Probably not. So I think you can pick him. I think he's a viable option. Maybe we should try Bont into Petrarca. Even though it seems to me Jackson, the rucks, he just keeps on. So has he had Melbourne would have been a fairly hard matchup. He got a 113. Richmond, this would have been with Nack in the team 108. Adelaide McAndrew got a 126. Collingwood, he would have gone up against was Steen in the team then, or was it only Cameron? But 125. West Coast probably lower than expected with 125. Carlton with no Pitten at 147. And Bulldogs with English, which surely isn't an easy matchup, English, a 143. So I still might have a go at him. Now, for you guys out there, if you have no one out of Freo and Hawthorn besides Jackson, I would say I like. Out of Brisbane versus Carlton, maybe a sneaky Lockie Neal, vice captain. If you have him, I think is fine. Then you've got Port Adelaide versus Bulldogs. Again, 2 games on Friday. Thanks for that, AFL. Don't know what they're doing down there. Really don't know what they're doing. Anyway, enough whinging about the fixture. Port Adelaide, Western Bulldogs will both Butters and Bont play on the same day. So does that mean with Butters being not injured, apparently, and Bont being injured, that you would take a swing at one of those? Like, this is the only reason I don't like my Jackson into Bont. If Jackson fails and I go Bont, and then he doesn't play so well injured, maybe I take away my chance for a big score. So maybe we do this. Or even the vice captain into Bont. Maybe we do that for me. On Saturday, we have North versus Sydney. Sherry versus Grundy. I think you don't pick either of those. You don't pick Sheasel because he might get the Jordan tag, or LDU if he's not injured, if he's named. There is talk that he might be a little bit injured. But if he's not, then maybe he gets the James Jordan tag. GWS versus Essendon. I think Lockie Whitfield is a sneaky pick here. I think he's showing, that he's got the monopoly down there. I mean, you could also potentially have a think about a Finn Callaghan or Clayton Oliver if you like it, as probably captain choices by the time of this, vice captaining someone like a Butters and a Bont, and then trying a Finn or a Clayton Oliver or a potential Lockie Whitfield versus Essendon. The only thing is the ball might be not down in GWS's defence very often. So maybe picking Lockie Whitfield is not the best, but, he is going to get the kick in pretty much every time it goes down. GWS versus St Kilda. Would I pick Nas here? I guess it's an option. don't really know if Gold Coast are a tagging type team. I don't think they really are. But, you know, it kind of seems smart now. If you were any team, surely you'd just find a tagger somewhere or someone to try and run with Nas, wouldn't you? So I don't know if I'm picking Nas for captains unless he was obviously that one time he played the Eagles, where if you're playing the Eagles, you can pretty much pick whoever you like. Geelong and Collingwood. O'Shea Mullen might go to Dacos, maybe. So maybe Dacos is not the way to go. Holmes or Bailey Smith, I think, are both decent options. Is Bailey Smith? I think he just had a bad score this week, right? But Holmes, I think, is a really good I think they're both really good options. Holmes and Bailey Smith, I think you can't go wrong with either of those as a fallback captain. Like we said, Melbourne versus West Coast. If you've got Gawn's named and Max Heath isn't, just slap it on Gawn. You're going to get a good score. And the last one is Richmond versus Adelaide. And I don't think I'd be going anyone in those two teams. Anyway, I think hopefully that helps you out in the regards to captains and vice captains, and a little bit on who you'll be trading in. To go into a lot more detail, once we've got some teams and a little bit more knowledge out there in the community, join me for my Thursday video. Don't forget to join the Discord so I can pop your team up on the screen and we can have a chat about it. And also, don't forget, sub to me now. If you haven't already done that, do that now. Like the video, also do that right now before we go any further, and leave me a comment down below letting me know who are your trades and who are your captain and vice captain choices. Well, thanks again, everybody. It's always great talking to everyone, so I really hope I get to speak to you all again very soon. Take it away, Skip.